Yes, Kevin, I did bring my clicker today to work. Glad you're paying attention there. Hey, everybody. Wave meteorologist Brian Good. Welcome to a special edition here of Storm Talk. It is a wave weather alert day, and it is the first day of school for a lot of students. So, I love when they overlap. It's not stressful at all. But it's not all bad news, as you're about to hear. And as I'm about to explain how this is all going to play out, there are some pluses to the scenario that are showing up for this afternoon and even for tonight. I don't think it's a major concern as far as an outbreak in all areas, but there will be a couple things we're going to be watching and fine-tuning here the next 12 hours to kind of get you guys into a much more of a clear idea of how things are going to play out. All right. So I know you've got a lot of questions. I'm already seeing quite a few about how things are going to go this afternoon, evening. This morning, fine. It's still ongoing, of course, for rush hour. Still some traffic jams and spots, but in general, the weather has not been a concern, which is good. And for the afternoon commute, overall, should go well. It will be the idea of any of the later run buses, we may run into some rainfall. All right, not necessarily severe weather, but rainfall as we're talking about. So let me cover the setup for this alert day, and then I'll at least explain why I do think there will be another alert day here very soon. I know you are thrilled to hear about that. All right, let's start with the update on the storm surveys real quick for those of you in Indiana. Oh, hold on one second. It's been a while. We got a spammer. All right. Happy Tuesday or happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to you. See you later. Goodbye. All right. Haven't had those in a while. Hopefully they don't come back. That tornado that we had, well, multiple tornadoes, Sunday night, early Monday, that survey is still ongoing. One of the longer surveys I've seen here take place. They got two teams working on this. There's a lot to add factor here because when you look at the green boxes, which would cover Du Bois County, Orange County, into Washington County, those are the tornado damage reports that we've had, now even that are at least EF1. You got the more bluish looking box, that's an EF0, the weaker of the ones that have been reported. Here's what we know is that there is a damage path that is showing up from Du Bois County right in through Paoli and all the way to Salem. We see that damage path. They see it on the drones. They just have to figure out, is it all connected or did they tornado lift up at any point? fall apart, a new one formed and touch down. If that ended up being one tornado, it would likely set the record for southern Indiana for the longest track tornado we've ever had in the month of August, and since certainly 2002. So there's a lot at play when you're dealing with a substantial record on this for tornadoes. They want to make sure to get this right. In addition to that, though, it's worth noting that there are two other tracks that showed up of separate tornadoes, one on the northern side of Paola, one on the southern side of Paola, that are not on the main path. So those are also being examined as well to be assessed. So the entire report may come out as early as afternoon, but it may take some time. I totally understand. It's a painstaking process. Technology is great, what they're doing with it all, being able to plot it all. We're able to see the plots internally here in the office so we can see they're working on it. But they really want to make sure they get it right. So just hang tight, and we'll give you the final analysis when it's all said and done. If you had other areas of wind damage not listed here, it has already been determined by the emergency managers then that it was straight line winds, and that's why you don't see it listed. These are the tornado signatures that were more likely. All right, Indiana, we'll keep you updated on that as we get closer. This morning, we've had some clouds around the area. Some of you have been talking about the little weird shapes, again, that take off from the radar sites. Some of that's bugs, some of that's birds that lift up right when the sun rises on cue, and the radar detects that moment when they lift away and fly. So it's always cool to see that. But it is on every radar beam across the country when it happens. Okay, so we've got some scattering of clouds, maybe a brief shower that may be trying to form. This is the lead edge of a bigger complex of rain back into Missouri that is going to head right toward us. And you're like, oh, wow, that looks ominous. And it does. Now, as it does approach the area, it will lose a lot of its gas. It's going to run out of its ability to keep going once it crosses Indiana's border and into, say, Evansville and gets closer to Louisville. Now, some of it will survive, but how much of that is still being worked out, of course. But the majority of it looks like it's going to weaken to just a wall of rain. There is a chance, though, as it approaches, because it will be a cool air mass that is moving our way, rain-cooled air. We'll be heating up into the mid-80s at this point, that one or two cells on the leading edge that could develop and could become strong. Not seeing a strong signal for that right now, to be honest with you. It looks relatively limited. And even if they were to develop, the amount of the ability for them to tower up to become severe is very limited, to where if they were to, they would collapse on themselves fairly quick. So it's a very much what we call a pulse severe setup if they were to form this afternoon. But that chance is low, and that window for that to happen is looking more like a 5 to 7 p.m.-ish kind of window, 5 to 7, depending on the exact speed once it gets a little closer to us. But it does not look as ominous as what it did yesterday. Remember yesterday I said at this point in the blog, we should be able to see something in Missouri and let you know what's going to happen as it tracks east. Well, the earlier trends were to be a wall of thunderstorms coming our way. So far, it looks to be a wall of weakening rain that may pop new storms when it arrives. Does that make sense? That's part one of this whole system. If you're good with that, type 15. Type 15 if you're good with this first part. Again, showers move in roughly rush hour, could promote one or two strong storms, but a widespread severe weather issue is unlikely with that first wave that moves through. Even with rain, that's not good, though, as far as travel and buses being on the road. I totally understand that. So taking severe weather aside, the idea we could have still some messy roads is on the table. So just make sure you're ready for that for the kids. Get ready to get them at the bus stop. They'll need probably the umbrellas and stuff to get them back to the house there. So that kind of setup is on the table. Depending if they have, again, a later arrival on buses. I'm not fully aware of the schedule, to be honest with you, on how it's staggered today, but that is the potential. All right, I'm seeing a lot of 15s, except for Nancy. Nancy, let me know where I can help you on that. Just type in there, and if we want to talk on the side, we can. But certainly it's a setup where, again, it's a wall of rain. One or two storms may pop, roughly 5 to 7 p.m. So what happens after that? That's when things start to change. And it's all about really the jet, the way it's moving through. Later on tonight, what we call this a low-level jet, is going to really ramp up across Arkansas, into Tennessee, parts of Kentucky especially. It will ramp up to roughly about 35 to 50 knots. in the atmosphere. It's basically just above our heads, about a mile up. When that takes place, it can create a tailpipe for thunderstorms to really get going. And in some cases, they can fire up even without a ton of help, with the idea that they don't have a lot of heat in of the day to work with. These can fire up in the middle of the night, which makes them more dangerous, of course, because, yes, we've got this wall of rain coming in this afternoon. So the mindset is, okay, we're going to get rain-cooled air. We're good. This particular case is the only time that you have to think a little differently on that, is that it can still promote some thunderstorms that can become strong even without a lot of heating of the day. So you could get cooled down into the 70s after this afternoon rain, and then get severe weather still with rain-cooled air in the 70s. That is still possible. But where? So we know that the storms are having a chance to fire up because of the strong jet that is moving in. Now, in this area of Missouri into Tennessee and Arkansas, there will also be the max heating of the day, so they will have a lot of heat to work with. In fact, temperatures will be in the 90s, mid-90s in central Arkansas. So there will be plenty of fuel for that round to fire up, so the enhanced risk is out for them. Notice we are in the marginal risk. No one is in the slight risk now. They've trimmed that back for our area. So the storm's fire. The jet aims northeast in Kentucky. So you would think majority of the storms that do fire and become severe would just race right into Kentucky, but they are moisture feeders. The whole thing is going to be shifting to the south. So they're going to be feeding on that moisture, and that moisture is also going to be trending south, and you'll be able to see that where it's right along the front, and then you see how it gets fed more and more down into Tennessee, pulling on the line as it does so. So in other words, the storms don't really race northeast into Kentucky. They will likely just blossom on the radar, and then quickly they'll be on their way to areas of central Tennessee and eventually into the Appalachian Mountains themselves, not toward Louisville or Indiana. They will have a quick turn to the southeast. So what we have to figure out is when they do blossom on the radar tonight, and this is going to be late, I'm talking midnight, when they do blossom on the radar, where will they begin to stretch their legs before they make that push to the south and east? One way we can do that is by looking at some of the modeling, and I'll show you that here in just a second. Quick update here on the severe risk. Again, there's the enhanced risk across Missouri, Ozarks area down into Memphis. Again, we are not in the slight risk locally. And the potential is there for strong tornadoes in the Ozarks today. Not that kind of a setup here. In the Ozarks, pretty far away, that's the area that they're watching for severe weather. Straight line damaging winds, because these are going to be big, long bowing segments. This is going to be an MCS. It's going to have a long bow echo with it. That's going to have a lot of straight line wind with it. Tornadoes, yes, but it'll evolve quickly into a straight line event all the way through Nashville. Paducah, Nashville, Memphis are not in good spots for tonight. They will be in a prime area for severe weather for later on. Hail, same ordeal. You can get some large hail, especially when they first form in the heat of the afternoon across Missouri. Now, flooding needs to be watched as well, because these are going to be producing rainfall rates of about 2 inches to 2.2 inches per hour. So if you get more than one, you can really get some flash flooding, but that is a little tough to forecast right now until they really fire up. So now let me show you the modeling. This is what you want to see anyway. You see how we get into 5 o'clock this afternoon, that big blob of rain you saw there in Missouri starts to fall apart, but you do see a few cells that are trying to form along the I-65 corridor. It's not right up along the interstate. Unfortunately, rain doesn't do that. It's not going to be exactly that way. It's just going to be blotchy, 1 or 2 cells that could form. Some of these could be strong, so I don't want to downplay this first round this afternoon. I think it's possible to get a warning out of something like that. I just don't think it's likely. Once we get into the mid-evening time period, now that low-level jet, that jet stream I showed you with all the arrows, it really begins to crank up. And when it does, the storms then begin to blossom as you head across portions of Missouri into West Kentucky. Now, this is the crucial part of the forecast for us. We're getting to midnight. How far north and east are these going to stretch out before they start to feel the tug and begin to dive to the southeast and leave us alone? I'm going to show you. I'm going to hit the space bar. I'm going to show you the animation of this and how this evolves. They begin to form around midnight. They quickly expand right into perhaps Bowling Green, Grayson County, possible. Green, Taylor, Adair, possible. I don't know yet. No one knows how far north they will stretch before they get that pull to the south and east. I will say at the moment, this second round, I'm not seeing a lot of support. There's only one model. I believe it was the NAM, but the NAM's updating. Only one model I've seen that tries to shoot that threat all the way up to Louisville or into Indiana or up towards Cincinnati. I'm not seeing that signal. Most of the signal is West Tennessee into just the southern part of Kentucky. So for the majority of you watching within Wave Country, majority are going to miss out on this severe risk. So really for the alert day today for you guys, it's the small thunderstorm chance this afternoon. And then tonight, you may not see hardly anything. So really the alert day is going to be much more focused on our southern counties tonight, because this is the one that's got more of the kick to it. It's got the support of the low level jet moving into the area. So that's the reason why we need to watch, especially our southern tier south of the parkways, for any severe weather that can develop. This is going to move fast though. Once this gets organized, it is on the move. We're at 3 a.m. It's now formed. It's not going to keep going. It's getting very organized. You're going to get several severe thunderstorm warnings. There probably will be tornado warnings too along that line. But that is roughly very close to, I would say, Hart County, Greene, Taylor, and Adair, maybe Grayson, generally in that spot. And the model could be wrong here. The model could be wrong. It could be on the other side of the border. It could be nothing but a Tennessee show and nothing in Kentucky at all. There is actually that chance. Some modeling does want to do that. So there is some bust potential on this for that second round. It moves on by. It's out of here, 6 in the morning. All we got is light rain here into Louisville, and we're done. So that is how the risk is looking for this afternoon and tonight. Technically, we probably could pull back on the alert day, given the idea that the coverage doesn't look to be widespread for the area. However, right now, we'll look over the data for midday and make that decision. I don't see that changing, but right now, given the wind field being so strong, pushing into Kentucky tonight, I really think we just need to be on guard for the overnight hours. For those of you south of the parkways, it may be a bit of a long night watching this, and this is the worst time of the night. Worst time that all have storms is at night. Watch each of our newscasts today. Watch the Wave 24-hour weather channel or social media pages. We're going to know once this fires up this evening, especially Missouri, we'll get a good idea. We'll be able to plot the moisture field and be able to see if it's going to have a chance to stretch all the way in Kentucky, or if it's done for Kentucky and it's all a Tennessee show. We should know that mid-evening before you go to bed tonight. So hope that helps. You're not going to have to go to bed and worry that this could suddenly change course or move more into northern Kentucky. We're going to know mid-evening how this is going to likely play out. But right now, there's still some uncertainty. We've got to get this first little mini wave of messy showers and spotty storms to pass through here at 5 to 7 this afternoon. We need to get that through here first, so we kind of can focus in on what's happening there in western Tennessee and Arkansas. All right, if you're good on that, what number should I pick? 16. Type 16 if you're good on that. Type 16. Are you good? I'm seeing a lot of issues on games. I'm coming around to that right now, so let me back up. Hold on 1 second. Oh, there's a spammer. I didn't see them. I apologize. Okay, got them blocked. They're good. All right, sorry about that. Let's see. Yvonne, how much wind will be with this? I'm not sure where you're located. By the way, when you ask your questions, please let me know where you're at and the time you're talking about, so that I have a better idea. Because again, I got 2 waves that I'm tracking here. But in general, these, if the straight line wind ones in Tennessee, those are the ones that have the really strong wind. They can go over 60 miles per hour. The ones this afternoon, no. Probably about a 40 mile per hour gust as we're looking at. Let's see. Debbie, 6 p.m. high school game, soccer game there in Salem. How's it looking? You have a chance at a spotty downpour or shower. Maybe a thunderstorm, but right now, again, it looks so spotty that the odds are more in your favor than against it right now. The only thing you need to watch out for that, obviously, is going to be lightning, and we'll keep you updated on that. But given the idea this is going to be a fading area of showers, I don't think we're going to have a ton of lightning per se at the moment. Sorry about the sound. You all mentioned the sound went out briefly. I think it's back on now. I see a lot of 16s. Angela even spelled it out. Thank you, Angela. All right. So everyone's good. Everyone understands the storyline for the next 24 hours. I want to make sure I'm clear on that. So what happens next? So glad you asked. Okay. So let's talk about that for what's coming our way later on. As we head into Saturday, there is, we're fine, by the way, for Thursday and Friday. We're good. Saturday, there is a weak wave that moves through that wants to try to throw, let me back this up here just a moment, that wants to try to throw some thunderstorms in the area. If you look carefully, you can almost see it. I'm going to replay it back here. I lost my cursor. Oop, there we go. Right in through here. It's a little front that wants to produce some quick wave of thunderstorms Saturday afternoon. It's possible these could be strong right now. I just don't see a ton of support for this. They look like they may just fizzle out. There may not be much in the way of rain with that. Maybe some wind as far as just gusty winds. But right now, I'm not sold on this being a huge ordeal at the moment. I've changed my mind. Any of us may change our mind as we get more data on this. It's only Wednesday. We got a little bit of time here, but that is the next system to watch. Would be Saturday afternoon if that front drops in. I think what is more interesting is what is behind it, which doesn't always happen, is the next system that drops in from the Great Lakes. This one does have much more of a kick to it, and it's front moving through, and that one is one that I do think has the chance to produce some severe weather, and this would be Monday that we're talking about. So in my opinion right now, Monday is a good candidate for an alert day, more so than Saturday is at the moment. And after that, then we may end up with cooler weather briefly, then we heat back up, and then this pattern probably will keep repeating itself over and over again. Hello, Kentucky girl. Good morning to you. Thanks for watching on YouTube there. Doug, what about Greene County and Somerville? I'm assuming you're meeting tonight. In Greene County tonight, you just need to be aware, especially the midnight to about 3 a.m. window. Just be aware that the storms that may move out of West Kentucky or West Tennessee may come up and graze you briefly. I mean, these will move fast. It's only about an hour of watching the radar, to be honest with you, and then they'll be moving on by. But you'll be right on the edge of that, Doug. So there's a chance you maybe look at the radar and it's all Tennessee and you're good. And you should know that. We'll know that, but we'll pass that along as quick as we can. It's crazy how much severe weather we're getting this time of year. It is. And the reason why is that jet that I showed you, typically the jet like that retires in Canada in the summer. Doesn't spend a lot of vacation time in Kentucky. That's a little odd. But when you do that with so much heat that is to our south, you're going to get active weather and severe weather. So, but that is the way it has been all summer, right? We have not seen the retirement of the jet stream like we normally would to give us those long days of nothing but 90s and hardly any rain, just pop-up showers and storms. State fair weather, if you will. We'll see what happens at State Fair. Maybe the State Fair will be our luck and change the pattern up. But you're right, it is a little unusual, and it's all about the jet and the way it's playing out. Are we stuck in this, Shonda, are we stuck in this for a while? We're going to get a break. For right now, I do not see a long-term change to this. I see everything kind of staying the same for a while. All right, got to run. I'm sorry. I hope I got most of the questions answered there. I just got to get ready. There's new modeling coming in. So I want to look at it and see if we need to sway our decisions any at all on a consistent basis as we look at how things evolve this afternoon and certainly for the overnight. So a lot of watching going on for us. We got a whole team ready to go. And we'll keep you updated on Saturday setup and again for Monday as well. Yes, I do miss winter in so many ways.